Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, this is Kenyan Revolutionary. How is everyone doing? This is a late night, okay? So karibu, I know it's very late in Kenya, but karibu. It's evening wherever I am. I hope you are doing well. If you're not sleeping, you're a nocturnal, turn on your, if you hear your notification, you can come in. I was supposed to come in at 12 midnight, but I could not, but I'm here. So let's get rocking. I will give you guys a few minutes. As you know, if you're going to watch this on repeat, please, you know, the first order of business is what? Please go ahead and like the video. That's the first order of business. Then, if you're looking at this in the timeline and you're wondering, who is this guy? Hey, just check out the channel. The name is Kenyan Revolutionary, as you can see down there. Then hit the subscribe button and surf through the videos and see which one you like. Comment, share, like, and all that good stuff. Amaniaje. All right. The matter of today is Ruto succeeding in infiltrating the Gen Z movement? Is he succeeding? Because this morning I came in. Unfortunately, I could not finish my live. But as I explained this morning that now the theme is these peaceful protesters, majority of them, they're being joined by some criminal element that are torching, vandalizing, and robbing people, okay? And now Ruto wants to use this very reason to say that, hey, these protests are no longer peaceable. They're not protesting peaceably as it is enshrined in the Constitution. He's trying to say that, oh, there's a lot of these criminals in there, so we need to clamp down on these protesters. A clever way of going after what he may suspect as the engine of this protest. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I don't know what you're doing right now. Join me. I'm waiting. If you're having your dinner somewhere in the evening of the East Coast, relax. Put your dinner aside. We are about to get started. If you are sleeping, you are in Kenya. It's probably 2 a.m. in the morning. If you're still up, you're bored. Unasikia usingizi yaingi. Here's a place to hang out. I will put the link if I need to. I just want to see if you guys are going to join. We can have this discussion, a late night discussion of what happened. I should have come in earlier. I apologize. I just got up with life, but I'm here. So please, if you're going to see this in repeat or you're just getting in right now, maybe you're sitting at the back and you don't want to be part of this. You don't want to chat. You just want to listen. Okay, that's fair. But one thing I will ask you, go ahead and like the video. Like the video so this can go through the algorithm, okay? And subscribe again if you haven't subscribed already, okay? All right, let's get started. I will start with the video. Now, today also marks the 1st of July, okay? The first day of the month of July 2024. If you didn't know what's going on today, apparently, these members of parliament, these imbeciles, majority of them, not all of them, to be fair, will have increase in salaries. They will have salary increase. Apparently, they feel like they're doing such a good job that they need to increase salary for themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, and comrades, if there was something that needed to drive you crazy enough to join the Gen Z in the streets of Nairobi or wherever the case you live in Kenya, this is it. I don't think they get it. Just like Linus asked Mr. President, I don't think you get it. These MPs definitely don't get it. If the people marched and occupied the parliament because they were dissatisfied, they felt that they are not being represented by these members of parliament, and now they're thumbing their noses at us, we the Kenyan people, by increasing their own salaries, thinking that they're doing such a great job. I think if there was any kind of referendum to be held about the performance of this parliament, last Tuesday was a good indication. And if need I remind you that you had to run through the underground tunnels and get your choppers on, pretend, escape through ambulances from the raging crowd that were trying to lynch you guys alive. Mr. Ichungwa and the rest of you. And this is not only a Kenya Kwanza issue, but it also falls to Azimio. I had the press conference today by the Azimio, but nothing would address that whole issue of salary increase in a moment like this, when the public is crying, is lamenting, is mentioning that we should have austerity measures. Okay, we are budgeting for Rachel Ruto, who does nothing all day, but she's allocated, I don't know how many million. Musalia Mudavadi, the same. His wife, the same. Okay, then to rub salt on our sore legs, okay, you go ahead and approve a salary increase because you feel like you do such a good job. I would like to hear my friends on the opposition side, if we still have any kind of opposition, mention this. Sifuna, who has been championed as the guy to inherit Raila Odinga's position as the head of the Azimio, I would like to hear you say something. Babu Owino, who hasn't missed any opportunity to be standing in front of the cameras whenever these Gen Zs have been protesting, has not actually addressed this issue about salary increase. See, when it comes to something that actually benefits these members of parliament, whether it's the opposition or the ruling party, they vote for it. They're so happy. They cannot wait. They will not even talk about it. I will want to hear Mr. Sifuna, please make a press conference and tell us, say that, members of parliament, members of National Assembly, the Senate, everybody, they should have at least 80% of salaries cut. Can you do that? Kenyan members of parliament, legislative body are one of the most highest paid lawmakers in the world. I kid you not. Go look it up. Kenyan lawmakers are the highest paid, one of the highest paid lawmakers in the world. Okay? That's why you see people kill each other over this MP position, kill each other over this senatorial position, kill each other over these gubernatorial positions, because they know once they get there, they will have a salary that will change their lives. In fact, there was a member of parliament who was addressed by one of these constituents, okay, where they told him, hey, why didn't you vote for yes? This thing is not good for us. And you know what he said? His reply was, you know what? I've earned enough to feed myself and the next generation of my family. I don't care if I vote yes. I don't care about your concerns. This is the kind of hubris that these imbeciles, these Lincoln poops, these irredeemably corrupt members of parliament, senators that we have, MCAs. I hear Mr. Robert Alai, my good friend, who always tweets every day, whining and mourning about Uhuru Kenyatta, whining and mourning about the Gen Z, whining and mourning about Ruto. But when it came a time to actually do his job by impeaching the corrupt Sakaja, he failed to mention, he never mentioned anything because his his political papa, called him in the office and told him, hey, listen, I have a 200 million here that I've received from Sakaja, so shut your mouth. And Sakaja, after that day, Robert Alai has never addressed Sakaja's transgressions, but you'll see him busy on Twitter, tweeting about what's wrong with the country. In fact, today he had the audacity to question why the Gen Z are still going on while the businesses are being destroyed, failing to understand that there's more than good evidence, good evidence that suggests that this movement have been infiltrated not only by the government, but government affiliated goons and politicians who are trying to portray the peaceful protesters who cripple and continue to cripple this Ruto government, and they're trying to make them seem as if they're terrorists. They are a bunch of young folks that are marauding the streets of Nairobi and Nakuru, trying to make them look like criminals. These are not criminals. These are university graduates. These are kids that have learned. Actually, they're not kids. They're young adults. They're people with thinking mind who have refused to live in this manner. They understand this is the information age. They have internet and all that stuff. They can see what's happening in the world, and they can see that, yes, they are educated, but there's no jobs. They understand that Ruto is a colonial puppet, the irredeemably corrupt, murderous President Ruto, who needs to be in committee serving a life sentence with no possibility of parole, along with Kenyatta, along with Raila Odinga, along with all of them, Sakaja. We should not be playing with these guys. So Gen Z, please do not stop. Do not stop, no matter what. Show up in the thousands and make sure when you see these criminals that are trying to target innocent folks and are torching cars and destroying, vandalizing properties, arrest them and get them over to the police. Do not let, like they did it in the first Mandamano. Remember, the old folks, there was an MP who was in the wheelchair. He voted yes, but the Gen Z had enough humanity in them that they say, yes, we did not agree with you, but you're a crippled man, you're a disabled man. Yes, we are not going to put our hands on you, no matter how we disagreed with what you did, but we are not going to physically assault you. We are not going to harm you. We just disagreed with how you voted, and we felt that how you voted is detrimental to our lives, but we shall not put our hands on you. That was the utmost respectful thing that any protesters can do. It is not the same goons that were torching cars in Mombasa, torching businesses, doing all sorts of things in every part of Kenya. So let me tell you, Mr. President, let me show you this. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you share this, like this video, because I want Mr. President, when he looks at open his YouTube, he can see this video, because I want to speak to him directly. Mr. President, listen here, you Mr. President, listen to you. I even feel ashamed calling you Mr. President. You're no longer President of Kenya. You're a criminal that needs to be in committee. This is what I want to tell you. The thousands of young men and women who are in the streets are not there because they want to terrorize Kenyans. They are there because they want a better Kenya, and they've decided that it's no longer about finance bill. This finance bill was just one of it, but you've shown and proven time over and time over that you are just bullshitting them. You are bullshitting them. You have no intention of making changes that can actually help this Kenya. You instead turned around and started gunning them down, abducting them one by one, and paying the influencers, okay, like Cairo and what's his name, the People's Watchman Boniface Mwangi and Hanifa, who have sailed out, okay? So they don't trust you. They know you are untrustworthy. And that's why the hashtag is Ruto must go. And we shall not stop. Ruto must go. And we shall cripple your government in every sort of way. For all you business people who are complaining that your business is not happening, is not getting profits, let me tell you something. The person you should be complaining about is William Samoei Ruto, not the protesters that organize the protests on Tuesdays and Thursday. It is William Ruto who's responsible for this. Ladies and gentlemen, as I get started, I don't want my blood pressure to run high. Let me start by playing you a press conference by the Azimio side. These folks that have abdicated their position as the official opposition because they can't do their jobs. They went to bed with Ruto by promising Raila Odinga to going to AUC. And we all know Raila Odinga will not be going to the AUC. So let me play this video. Let's listen to the Azimio folks faction of the government. Let's listen to what they had to offer Kenyans since they seems to be concerned. Let's listen if they are going to touch or mention anything about the salary increase, okay? Let's listen if they're going to mention something about bringing down Ruto to justice. Let's listen in. Let me play this video. While I do so, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, comrades, if you're a true revolutionary, because the time for revolution is now, please take a second and like this video. And if you want to come to the studio, I will invite you and you can give your point of view. I don't care if you support the president. I don't care if you like the president. I don't care if you oppose him. I don't care what persuasion you are. You can be a capitalist. I don't care if you can be a Trotskyist, okay? You can be a communist. The place is open for you. So you can view, vent, say whatever you want. This is the reason why this channel was started. It was never started to come and kiss anybody's ass okay, or have a certain agenda against an individual or a political association or a political organization. This is a platform where you speak your mind freely like a free sovereign being, not in like other platforms where you have to be stopped. You'll be kicked out if you say something against this irredeemably corrupt leaders that are ruling Kenya. These puppets that are being used, they're puppets for the West, both Azimio, both Kenya Kwanza. Do not believe in them. Gen Z is the way the kids have risen. Let me start with this press conference. Like this video, all of you. Like it if you're going to watch it in repeat. Like it. Subscribe if you see it. If you see any face here, like it, okay? And subscribe. Let's get started. If you want to get to the studio, let me know. I will drop you the link. You can come speak your mind freely and speak boldly like a sovereign being that God made you. Let's get started. Okay, let's get started with this video. Keep on keeping the likes up. Keep the likes up. Likes up. Likes up. Likes up. Let's go. Let's listen to the Azimio folks. They have something to tell us that we Kenyans, maybe we shall sacrifice some sleep just to hear them speak. Let's hear it.
We do have that. Just go.
Are you ready? You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a meeting of the...
This is why
Sorry
I
about
stopped
that.
shopping on Amazon, and you
It's,
should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon.
The Central Committee of the ODM party. Central Committee is the organ of the party that deals with managerial issues in the party and also issues of policy. We have a comprehensive meeting today, and we have a statement which is going to be read to you by the Secretary General, Honorable Edwin Sifuna.
We proceed straight to the statement of the Central Committee meeting of 2nd July 2024, and it is titled, "This is Kenya's Last Best Chance." The Central Committee of the party has this morning held a meeting to deliberate on the ongoing crisis in Kenya. This meeting is happening at a most difficult time for our country, given all that has happened in the last few weeks. We are acutely aware that many families are still in mourning, having lost their loved ones, with civil society groups estimating that over 30 young Kenyans fell to the regime bullets in the course of the street protests. Many of these families are yet to bury these victims. On behalf of the entire ODM party, the Central Committee extends its deepest condolences.
Sifuna, before you go far, don't lecture us about people who died on the streets, the Gen Z who got shot by this government. In 2017, when your party leader, Raila Odinga, called for Azimio to go out and protest the illegitimate victory by President Kenyatta, many were shot under the command of Matiang'i and others who brutally murdered, butchered young men and women and dumped their bodies at River Yala. You never had a press conference asking for them to be compensated. 2022, the same Ruto with his brutal police force yanked young men from their houses in Nyalenda and Kisumu, beat them to a pulp, brutalized them in the worst form ever. Never did you hold a press conference calling for their justice, especially after Raila was paid, got into the handshake. So here you are, you see Gen Z out there are mad about people who died. You call a press conference pretending to be outraged by the people who died. I remember in 2017, when Uhuru Kenyatta imposed himself as the Kenyan president, that illegitimate son of the murderers, Jomo Kenyatta, Raila was calling for justice for baby Pendo, baby Mora, Chris Msando. But once he got into the handshake, he never uttered a word until 2022, when Uhuru was no longer the president. That's when he came out and started pretending to care about the people who died. What happened to baby Pendo who died playing in the balcony? Where was the justice then after you entered into an agreement with Uhuru Kenyatta's government? Oh, now you care about the Gen Zs. All of a sudden you care about them. Wandai Opio Wandai was telling us, let's implement NADCO, a proposal that has it wants to change the constitution so all you imbeciles can have a piece of the pie, a corrupt pie. Oh, Sifuna is giving a press conference, pretending, crying crocodile tears to sympathize with the young folks who got killed by this murderous regime. Sifuna, you don't care. Azimio, you don't care. You are just the same as Kenya Kwanza. You are an opportunist. Babu Owino Sifuna and the rest of you. You deserve to rot in hell.
To all those who have lost their loved ones, and pray that God will comfort them in this time of tragedy. We also know
I pray that God will send lightning and strike all of you Kenya Kwanza and Azimio folks. Ruto and Raila together, and Uhuru and Martha Karua and the rest of you redeemably corrupt politicians who have been plundering, looting Kenyan resources since its independence.
that many were injured and some are still in hospital. We wish all of them quick recovery. We are in awe of the Kenyan youth who, through their unity of purpose, have stood with their fallen colleagues and raised vast sums of money in very short times to pay hospital bills for the injured. As a mass movement that has been on this journey of true liberation for a long time, we know
Sakaja told us that he paid Raila Odinga 200 million bribes so Raila cannot to instruct his MCAs from impeaching him. Let him use that 200 million if he really cares about those young folks. Tell him to go tell the president who offered to put his name as the candidate of AU, his friend, his brother, to tell Murkomen, Oscar Sudi, Sonko, Junet, who had spent the money that was supposed to be given to the agents. Let them use that money, if they really care about the Gen Zs, to pay their hospital bills.
Know how difficult it is to achieve some of the things that we have seen you do. You have absolutely earned our respect as a party, and we salute you. As believers in the right to peaceful protest as enshrined under Article 37, we condemn in the strongest terms possible the abuse of police power in the deployment of violent suppression techniques on innocent and armed protesters. Our position is that no one has to die in exercise of the rights under Article 37. We further condemn the ongoing arbitrary abductions of innocent Kenyans who are carted away in the most violent and inhumane manner and held incommunicado for days. As we speak, the reports are that upwards of 50 individuals have been illegally abducted and their whereabouts remain unknown. To make it worse, it is clear that no one in government is ready to take responsibility, to render an apology, or to make amends. The head of state himself has tried to distance his regime from these killings, injuries, and abductions.
Azimio and Kenya Kwanza are one of the same. Ruto refused to apologize for the murders that happened during the protests. Raila Odinga, you see him standing there. He never apologized for the young people that died, defending his victory in 2017. He never called for their justice. Here he is, wearing a windbreaker with the eyes of a witch doctor, staring at the camera, pretending to care about the young people that got killed by this oppressive Ruto regime. While at night they sit in a dark dungeons of Nairobi, drinking together, planning how they can maintain a tight grip on the revenue that is extracted from the hard-working Kenyan people. Then they use useful idiots like Sifuna to head a press conference, pretending to care about the families of the young, brave men and women who got killed in this protest. Listen to this speech.
Instead, conjuring up theories when everyone can see the blood on his hands. We have the most callous, insensitive, and obtuse regime in the history of Kenya. It is no one.
Sifuna, explain to your supporters who you told that you will collect 10 million signatures and Raila will go to the State House. Explain to your supporters, Azimio, who lost limbs, were jailed, maimed, killed, because Raila promised that he will go to the White House, State House, that he will conduct an audit of the 2022 general election. That never came to be after him and Museveni and William Samoei, who you are complaining about, sat down, and Raila turned and along with Obasanjo flipped us off, showed us the middle finger, told the Azimio folks that I'm on my way to run for AUC and Ruto will be supporting me. So you are on your own. Too bad you got shot and died. Your family will bury you. Too bad my supporters were buried in Rivayala. Too bad, baby Pendo. Too bad, Msando. Too bad, baby Mora. Too bad. Too bad. I'm Raila Odinga. I'm Ruto. I can give a rat's ass about those who made the sacrifice to support me. Too bad. Too bad. The very people who kill Msando, you see them in government. You see them in the opposition. What a bunch of animals. And you wonder why these young folks want to burn down the parliament building. You wonder why these young folks said, we don't want any politician involved. The Babu Owinos who shot someone on camera is working so hard, pretending to endear himself with the Gen Zs. Too bad. Msando died. Too bad. Baby Mora, who knew nothing about politics, was shot playing in his balcony. And Raila never called for justice in Yalenda. Luos, people of his tribe, killed like dogs, shot, believing that Raila is a Gwambo. He's untouchable. He's enigma. He's the all-powerful. He's going to lead them to the state house, yanked out of their houses, in front of their children, in front of their wives, humiliated, beaten, castrated, had their testicles crushed, shot to death. No. The only answer we got from this conman was he was going to AUC. He was joining hands with the very Ruto who Kenyans youth are screaming has to go, who is abducting people. These are the kind of company that Raila keeps while he pretends to play the game that is opposition. These are the kind of games we play. Listen to them. Listen to them as they give us a fake eulogy about the heroes that died. Listen to these fuckers. Listen to them. They're just as rotten as Murkomen, rotten as Farouk Kibet, rotten as Oscar Sudi, rotten like Kibaki, rotten like Uhuru. Listen to them.
That chants of Ruto must go are ringing out all across our land. Government must never abdicate its responsibility to protect life and the property of its citizens. And if it does, as Ruto has done, it deserves to go. As a party that was founded on the tenets of social justice, we shall walk the journey of bringing about justice and accountability for all of the regime's crimes since they took power. We stand with the people in their quest to liberate themselves politically, socially, and economically. Kenyans asked us to stand with them.
Kenyans did not ask you to stand with them. In fact, they were very clear in saying that we don't want any politician in this movement. Because when you pretended to care about people, and acquired 100 million illegally in that NADCO nonsense that was being discussed at the Bomas. The only resolution you could agree upon with Ruto was to change the constitution so you can have positions in government. You lied to us that you're going to bring the cost of living down. Sifuna, you lied.
Against the punitive tax proposals in the finance bill, and we did. Of the 115 members of the National Assembly who stood with the people and voted against the bill on the floor, 73 were in fact members of ODM. We applaud these great patriots and thank them for being true representatives of the people. As a party, we celebrate you for being on the right side of history, and the party has charged the Honorable Opio and I and the whip, Junet Mohammed, to convey this message to each individual member who stood with the people of Kenya. Sadly, a few of our members went against the wishes of the people and sided with the oppressor, and we will speak to the consequences shortly. In light of this state of affairs, the meeting has resolved as follows. Number one, that it is time for all of us in the political leadership to begin to listen. Listen to what the people are saying and not to our own voices.
We don't want to listen to you. We want you to resign, all of you. Ruto, his cabinet, all MPs of Kenya Kwanza, all senators of Kenya Kwanza, all governors of Kenya Kwanza, all MCs of Kenya Kwanza, all the women reps, all the nominated MPs, and all so forth. All of them. We want all MPs of Azimio affiliates, all MPs and senators of Azimio, all MCAs, all governors, all everything. We want a clean slate. All of government. Government consists of both opposition and the ruling party. The legislative body as a whole, senators, and the National Assembly. The executive, which consists of the president and his cabinet. The judiciary, the Supreme Court, High Court, and every other level of courts that we have, kangaroo court that we have. All of you, we want you to resign. All of you, including you, Sifuna, Raila Odinga, and Junet Mohammed. All of you, we do not want any one of you, even you, Babu Owino, all of you, Ruto, Kibet, Oscar Sudi, Cheragay, Cheruyot, Wamuchomba, Wamutata, Wamukonga, Wamusijui nini, all of you, we are starting anew, all of you, with the exception with Omtata. I'm sorry about that. Omtata can stay, but the rest of you can rot in hell, and we are going to start charging you one by one. We are going to charge you graft charges one by one. Raila Odinga, we shall charge you. Ruto, we shall charge you. Kenyatta, we shall charge you. Everyone, one by one. Hakuna kupendeleana hapa. Hii ni Kenya ninio. Constitution will be the main thing. Will be our best friend. Sio Azimio, sio Kenya Kwanza, sio gasia ingine. Constitution, na tutaweka kwa jela. Tutawanyonga nyote. Kwa kamba, committee, maximum. In fact, we'll be very lucky to be in committee. Tutaleta guillotine. Umejua guillotine? Guillotine. And after the meaning of guillotine. Cheka tu hapo Sifuna.
The young people have spoken in plain language that should be clear to everyone. Let's not be vague. Let's just do what the young people are telling the government to do. Number two, we consider this to be Kenya's last best chance. The youth have given our country our last best chance. We either seize it and swim with it by by implementing all their demands, or we ignore it and sink the country altogether. Number 3, that the Kenya Kwanza regime responsibility for all the deaths, injuries, and destruction of property arising from the violent suppression of peaceful protests. The president must publicly direct his security organs to forthwith seize the ongoing abductions, an exercise that we believe is being undertaken with his full approval and the approval of the state. He must account for and order the release of all detainees abducted by these security agencies. Number 4, that the Independent Police Oversight Authority must expedite investigations into all these incidents, including allegations of mass murder by police in Githurai and in Rongai. We were shocked to watch the president claim on live television that only one life was lost. It tells you how out of touch with reality he is. Number 5, that in our view, what happened on the 25th of June 2024 amounted to a vote of no confidence in the Ruto regime. It is clear that this fact is totally lost on Ruto. It is reflected in his petulant proposals on how we manage our economy following the rejection of his tax bill. Instead of focusing on cutting wastage, opulence, and corruption in his regime, he is hitting back at the Kenyan people with threats to cut funding for the judiciary and the county governments. 6, that the ODM party will support credible austerity measures in the executive and in parliament. These two institutions have been expressly indicted by the people as citadels of largesse and wastage.
If you care about austerity, you should start by speaking against the legislative body salary increase. If you really do care about it, start charity starts at home. Start from there.
With fresh memory of the invasion of parliament and standing threats for occupation of the executive seat of power, these two institutions must have an honest introspection on their contribution to our current predicament and take measures to lessen the taxpayers' burden. As a party funded by taxpayers ourselves, we will also be taking steps to scale down on our presence across the country.
Your party is not funded by only taxpayers, but by very dubious means of earning money. We know how RDM mnafanya kazi yenu vile mnakuwa nominated. Don't play with us.
And some of our activities to reflect this new economic reality. Lastly, that ODM shall initiate and lead recall processes in the following
ODM is the same as Kenya Kwanza. Is same as Azimio. There's no difference. There's no difference. This is what you're not getting, Sifuna. You're the another side of the same coin. Mnakula pamoja usiku, mnajifanya kumchana ati nyinyi mmekosana sijui nini.
Constituencies in light of the current office holders' repeated violation of their sacred oath and the wishes of their electorate. Number 1, Game constituency. Number 2, Bondo constituency. Number 3, Navaholo constituency. Number 4, Kajiado Central. Number 5, Ikolomani. And lastly, Suba South in Homa Bay. Thank you. That is the end of the statement.
Very useless statement. You should have kept quiet. Let me listen to Miguna here, what he was saying. Ruto should have done once he got into power was to bring what's his face in for justice. The Kenyatta, Uhuru, the stolen money. Let's listen in.
I have spoken with Ruto myself 4 separate times about tracking, locating, and repatriating money that was stolen by Uhuru Kenyatta and stashed abroad. Because some of us have traced the money, we know where the money is. We know how much it is. And I have told them, this money is more than enough to wipe out the debt that you are complaining about and put Kenya on a trajectory of becoming a first world. And William Ruto.
I
have spoken with Ruto.
Yes. This is what we need to understand. If we are going to have a true revolutionized society, we have to arrest the whole system. Lazima, opposition and the ruling party also. But we shall start with Ruto. Ruto is the first one in our plate. Ruto is the first one because he's holding the sword. Your sword, tunataka to take it from him. So Ruto is the first one target. But we shall not stop there. We are letting these other folks know that don't try to pretend that you're part of this Gen Z movement. Tukimaliza na Ruto, the rabbit shall turn against you. The same rabbit that you're chasing shall have the gun and shall face you. So do not be happy. Unasikia Sifuna. Haven't had any scandal behind you, but the people standing behind you, Raila Odinga, Junet Mohammed, they have a history of scandal after scandal. So when we are done with Ruto, we are coming for you. You better start running for the hills because we are coming for you. We are coming for you. All of you. When we are done with Kibet Furuk, when Oscar Sudi, Murkomen, and the others, we are coming for you. We are coming for you, Raila Odinga. We are coming for you, Uhuru. We are coming for you, Azimio. We are coming for you, all of you corrupt politicians that have caused a lot of death in Kenya. A lot of young people died because of you people, leading poor young folks to die in vain and never compensating them, not even advocating for their compensation. But you pretend to play one against the other to fool the public that there's an illusion of choice. But the reality is there's no choice between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. So Gen Z are standing up, and they're standing up firm. They're standing up firm. They're standing up firm, and they shall not stop. They're coming for you. Once we get rid of Ruto, we shall open the books. We shall open the books. We shall open the books. And I'm telling you, Junet. Wewe Junet, wewe. Wewe Faruki Bet. William Samoei Ruto. Matiangi. Wewe. Raila. Hata kama uko 80 years old, we shall put you in the guillotine na tutakunyonga na kamba ya kufungia mbuzi. All of you, not one, not two, but all of you. Digmas Barasa, all of you. Mutaona. Chezeni tu. It's fun right now because you still have some level of power and influence. It's coming. It's closer than you think. Ngoja wewe. Hujui Urusi is behind this. You don't know wewe. Mtaona, mtajua. Tutawanyonga. Hakuna ukabila. Ile mchezo mnacheza ti ODM ya Wajaluo, sijui PNU, sijui UDS, hakuna, tutawanyonga. Tutawanyonga nyote. Ndio tuonyeshe watoto ambao wanakuja that Kenya shall be tribeless moving forward. Ukiiba hata kama wewe ni Raila Odinga, hata kama wewe ni Ruto, hata kama wewe ni Kenyatta, utanyongwa na ile kamba iliyowanyonga wale watu walikufa. Ngojeni nyinyi wewe. I saw mtoto Gideon Moi alikuwa anajifanya anatoa statement ati sijui nini. Gideon Moi Listen to me, you little fuck face. Listen to me carefully as I speak to you. Gideon Moi, pay attention. This is for you, you shit-faced faggot. Listen to me. Gideon Moi, baba yako, Moi, rule for 24 years. Killing people, massacring people in Wagala. Not only that, wewe Gideon Moi, wewe, tutafungua kitabu. Ile pesa mmeiba. Wewe Gideon Moi, Gideon, sikia wewe. Wacha nikwambie kitu wewe. Mmesahau, mnajifanya ati wewe ni mtoto wa Moi. Babako, wacha tukushike. Wacha tutawashika. Wewe Raila Odinga. Wacha tutawashika. Ngoja. Na tutawanyonga nyote. All of you. Si ngoja mtaona, mtashikwa nyinyi. Mnashikwa nyote. Mtashikwa. Siku za kutetewa na wabeberu imeisha. Being protected by IMF, World Bank and America imeisha. Tunawanyonga nyote. Kalonzo Musyoka wewe. Kalonzo wewe, acha nikushike na hiyo kichwa yako. Wewe Kalonzo wewe, wacha tutawashika nyote nyinyi. Ngoja nyinyi, mnacheza nyinyi. Ngoja hii Kenya ipata. Ruto natoka, by the way. Ruto has about 2 months left. 2 months max. Tuko July, August, September. Ruto ameenda nyumbani. September Ruto na atatolewa na, it's 2 choices. Atatolewa na wananchi ama atatolewa na jeshi. Atatolewa na wananchi ama atatolewa na jeshi. Apande ndege aende kwa Museveni. Angalia, tazama nini inafanyika in Nigeria saizi. Urusi wamesema in order, ile kitu watafanya, Putin alisema hivi, nitasaidia Afrika ipate demokrasia ya ukweli. Wacha hii demokrasia unaletewa hapa na sijui nani. Ngoja nyinyi wewe Gideon Moi wewe. Tutakushika. Like this video so you can show him. I want him to read my face and understand how I feel about him. Anajifanya hapa na babake aliwa watu wengi. Ngoja mtaona nyinyi, wacha niwanyeze. Anyway. Dakika ni 52 minutes nimekuwa hapa. Wacha nimalizie hivi. This government, opposition or ruling party shall be all prosecuted from Ruto, Kenya Kwanza as a whole, his cabinet ministers, MPs, MCAs, governors, senator. Azimio, from Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, Sifuna, as a matter of, Azimio is a terrorist organization. Tutawashika nyote. Ile mchezo ODM, sikia nyinyi pia tuko na nyinyi. UDA tutawashika. We shall do this from Sando. Tutafanya iko Sando. This will be justice from Sando. This will be justice for Tomboya. This will be justice for Pintogama. This will be justice for Rex. This will be justice for Baby Pendo. This will be justice for Baby Mora. This is wale watu walikufa Githurai. This will be justice for them. Nyote mtanyongwa. Kimbieni mwende Kongo leo. Anzeni kwenda Kongo. Ruto nimekupia mpaka September. The new government inaingia November. Ngoja utaona. Justice is justice. Hatuchezi. Thank you brother Benson. Hatuchezi na hawa watu. Anyway, I will finish up because I'm getting hot. I have to go. But wacha niwaambie, the next government will be ruled by a sovereign people where the constitution shall be the law. And whether you like it or not, we won't care what your name is, where you're from, what tribe you become. You violate the law, you go to jail, and you get hanged to death and meet your father, Lucifer, in hell. Subscribe, like, share, comment. I'm out of this place. Bye. Peace and blessings.